Hello everyone, good morning. Today I would like to talk about my topic FAQs in interview. So as you know, myself I am Rajesh Kumar Bhavani, working as an assistant professor in Department of IT, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. And today I would like to discuss about FAQs in interview. So before knowing about the FAQs, let us know about the interview. What is the definition of interview? An interview is essentially a structured conversation where one participant asks questions and other provides answers. And in common terms, the word interview refers to a one-to-one conversation between an interviewer and interviewee. So, interview usually takes place face-to-face and in person. But the parties may instead be separated geographically, as in video conferencing or telephone interviews takes place. So here we should know the purpose of interviews. So the interview is a conversation in which an employer exchanges information. So your objective is to get an offer of a job, and the employer's objective is to find out the following: what you have to offer. Either it is skills, abilities, basic knowledge. So here there are types of interviews I have mentioned. So based on the situation, the interviews may be scheduled formally or informally, sequential and panel interviews, group interviews, situational interview, and phone or video call. So these are the types of interviews, and before we start discussing about the FAQs, we also should know the purpose of interview. So interview is not a related term, and everyone study and complete their education for purpose of getting an offer like job or business. So interview is a kind of activity performed by the company to select a right candidate. So in this slide, I am mentioning companies and employers need to know 3 things about you. If you are attending the interview, the companies would like to know about you regarding these 3 things. What are those? Can you do the work? So, do you possess the skills and qualifications as reflected in your experience and education? So, this is the thing they want to check in you, so that they will finalize, can you do the work or not? And the next point is, will you do the work? So, are you willing to do the work, or you are simply coming to the company and going without doing any work? So, they'll assess you at the time of interview. They need to know, based upon your interests and goals at this stage of your career, if you are motivated. So you must be self-motivated to work. Then only you will work. And the third one is, will you fit in? So whether you will fit into that position which they offer you. So here they would like to know, they want to determine if you are a good fit with co-workers and if your values are in line with company's culture and mission. And all other factors being equal, many hiring managers base their decisions on likability and fit. So selection managers will take the decision accordingly based on the candidate's ability. So if you are fit, you are in. Otherwise, you are not selected. So in this slide, we'd like to know about the objectives of interview. So once we know the purpose of the interview, we must also know the objectives. So in the first point, it helps to verify the information provided by the candidate. It helps to find accuracy of provided facts, information about the candidate. So both the points are same, but I would like to repeat once as it is very important. And the second point, it is not only gives the interviewer information about candidate's technical knowledge, but also gives an insight into his much needed creative and analytical skills. Every person must have a creative and analytical skills with him to work in a company. Helps in establishing the mutual relation between employee and the company. So once you get select only, you can build a relation with the company. So this is what I would like to say. The relation should be mutual and the company should accept you and you should accept the company. Then only the relation would be mutual. An interview is beneficial for the interviewer and the interviewee as individuals because both of them gain experience both professionally and personally. So here the interviewer as well as interviewee both are individuals from different sides. So the interviewee came for the job and the interviewer is want a candidate. And if you are fit, you are really in. If you are not fit, it would be an experience to you. And it is considered as an experience to both ways, professionally and personally. So if you did any mistakes in that interview, you don't repeat that in your next interview. So this is a kind of lesson. In this slide, I would like to explain about most commonly asked job interview questions and also how to answer it. So we can also call it as FAQs, frequently asked questions. So while some job interviews take a fairly unusual approach to interview questions, and most job interviews involve an exchange of common interview questions and answers, including some of the most often behavioral interview questions. So these kind of questions would be helpful to you, and if you know it earlier, and you can answer it effectively. So if you can provide effective answers, and definitely the interviewer will get impressed by you and they will select you to the right position. Here are some of the common interview questions along with the best way to answer them. So in the next slides, we are going to see how to answer to those frequently asked questions by the interviewer. And here in this picture, I mentioned some top 10 interview questions would be asked by the HR or technical manager to the candidate. So what are those? So tell me about yourself. How would you describe yourself? How makes you unique? And how do you want to work here? And what interests you about this role? What motivates you? What are you passionate about? And why are you leaving your current job? And what are your greatest strengths and weaknesses? So these are the top interview questions, and if a candidate could be mentally prepared for these questions, he could be able to complete the interview smoothly. So the first very common question asked by any interviewer or HR manager is, tell me about yourself. So this is a very commonly asked question, tell me about yourself. So what the candidate should tell? When he provides his resume already to the HR manager, what he is expecting from you. So for this, here is an explanation. Think about the interviewer point of view. If you are the interviewer, there's a lot you should already know. And the candidate's resume and cover letter should tell you plenty. And your LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook and Google can tell you more. So the goal of the interview is to determine whether the candidate will be outstanding in the job. And that means evaluating the skills and attitude required for that job. So they want to check your attitude as well as what skills do you have and how is your communication, how you are answering, how polite you are while answering the questions. All these factors are considered. When you answer this question, connect the dots on your resume so the interviewer understands not just what you have done but also why. So this takes you into a next level to the interview. So here I provided an image to you, and these are the different positions available in the company. Either you apply for a software engineer or education officer or system developer or transport planner, to whatever job you have applied, and this question is common to you from HR. So you must face it. Now, second question. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? So in the next 5 years, what about your plans and where you would like to see you is the view of the HR to know about yourself. Whether you are focused, self-motivated, committed, all these things would be clarified by this question. So answer to this question go one of two basic ways, either optimistic or self-depreciated. So here you can say the optimistic answer is, I want your job, or try to show their humility because that's what they think you want. And what kind of self-depreciating answer you can give is, there are so many talented people here. I just want to do a great job and see where my talents take me. So you are giving chance to them to offer an opportunity very politely, and it would look like a self-depreciated. So be confident while answering to this question. So in the next 5 years, you're going to be experienced and talented than today. In either case, you learn nothing other than possibly how well candidates can sell themselves. So in both the answers, you are trying to sell yourself, but how effectively you are doing it, it matters. For interviewers, here's a best question. So you can ask a question to the interviewer. What business would you love to start? So if they start any new business, you can show your interest towards that, and you can improve your career also in that new business. So that question applies to any organization. So you can ask in any kind of organization what business would you love to start in next 5 years? Because every employee at every company should have an entrepreneurial mindset. Then only he can work as a leader. So these are the kind of leadership skills you must have in you. And the next question asked by the HR is, out of all candidates, why should we hire you? So this is a very typical question. Why should we hire you? So you must sell yourself effectively, as I said in the previous question. So since the candidate cannot compare himself with people he doesn't know, all he can do is describe his incredible passion and desire and commitment. So in this kind of situations, the HR will ask a question and he'll just sit back and arms folded and he will say, go ahead, I'm listening. Try to convince me. So if you can convince him, and the job is yours. So it is that easy that you have to convince him with your effective answer. So rarely do candidates come to the end of the interview feeling they have done their best. And maybe some candidates started the interview nervous and hesitant. And those kind of candidates, now they must go back and better describe their qualifications and experience once again in an effective manner. So this helps the candidates who are nervous and hesitant. And think of this way, and your girl as an interviewer. So this is a point for the interviewer, HR manager, who is taking the interview. So your goal as an interview is to learn as much as you possibly can about your every candidate. So don't you want to give them the chance to ensure you do? So here the HR is also having a limitation that he has to give a chance to the candidate. So deliver your answer confidently and effectively and leave the result to the HR, and he will take the decision. If the opportunity is yours and no one can hit you. Now, this question, not commonly, but it would be a frequently asked question. Tell me about the last time a coworker or customer got angry with you. What happened? So like this, the question would be asked by the HR to you to check your mindset. The best answer you can deliver to this question is conflict is inevitable. When a company works hard to get things done, mistakes happen. Sure, strengths come to the fore, but weaknesses also rear their heads. That's okay. No one is perfect. So like this, the best answer you can give to the interviewer to impress him. So this is a point I have given to you, and as per my perspective, I choose this as a best answer. So as per your mindset, you can prepare one more best answer according to you, and you can deliver it in front of the interviewer and no issues of it. But a person who tends to push the blame and the responsibility for rectifying the situation onto someone else is a candidate to avoid. So if you blame others on some situation, and you are out from the interview. The reason is hiring managers would much rather choose candidates who focus not on blame but on addressing and fixing the problem. So the moral of this story is don't blame others to your actions. And this is also one of the commonly asked question, what kind of work environment do you like best? So they are trying to checking you whether the company's environment is suitable to you or not. Otherwise we can talk vice versa, and whether you are fit in that company's environment or not. So maybe you love working alone, but if the job you are interviewing for is in a call center, that answer will do you no good. Because your mindset is to work alone. But you are getting an offer in call center. So whatever answer you give to them, it won't give you a good result. So take a step back and think about the job you are applying for and the company's culture. So here you must understand the company's culture before attending the interview. Then only you can answer to this question effectively. Otherwise, you will be in trouble. If a flexible schedule is important to you, but the company doesn't offer one, focus on something else. If the company is not providing what you require, then go for second opinion or second option. And find ways to highlight how company's environment will work well for you. So this is a very important aspect that you should highlight the company's environment which is suitable to you, so that the HR will get impressed with your answer and he may select you. And if you can't find ways, don't take the job, because you will be miserable. So what questions do you have for me? So this is the one beautiful question asked by the HR, and he is giving an opportunity to you to ask questions to him. So don't waste this opportunity. Ask smart questions, not just as a way to show you are a great candidate, but also to see if the company is good fit for you. So ask all your doubts. So what I mean to say is, don't waste this opportunity. Ask smart questions, and don't just as you way to show you are a great candidate, but also to see if the company is a good fit for you. After all, you are being interviewed, but you are also interviewing the company. You have that right. And one more question they'll ask in a frequent manner is, what do you plan to do if? So after if, we can add any. Either it is good or bad. So what you plan to do if some good thing is happened, and what you plan to do if any bad is happened. So your answer should be flexible to both the situations. So here I am suggesting you to understand this scenario by this slide. So while some candidates may see your company as a stepping stone, they still hope for growth and advancement. So if they do eventually leave, they want it to be on their terms, like notice period, intimation, prior intimation, etc. Not because you are forced out of business. So it is not intentional. So if you are doing it intentionally, and you must give a notice to them priorly. Say, I'm interviewing for a position at your sky shop. So another store is opening less than a mile away. So how do you plan to deal with the competition? So these kind of questions they may ask. So they'll ask questions according to their business scenario. And one more example is, you run a poultry farm, which is a huge industry in my area, and what will you do to deal with rising feed cost? So according to your skills, what decisions you will take to overcome this kind of situations. And great candidates just want to know what you think, and they want you know what you plan to do and how they will fit into those plans. So if your plan fits to their plans, then you are the one who they are searching for. So those are the commonly asked questions, and we can also call it as a frequently asked questions in interview by the HR manager at any point of round. Either it is a first round he may ask, or at the last round he may ask, but they want to know about you more. So here I am suggesting a STAR concept to you. So STAR is S-T-A-R. It's not 4 letters. It's a concept. So S is a situation, T is a task, A is a action, and R is a result. So this concept is very much useful to answer such a frequently asked questions. How? Let us discuss with this slide. So always answer such type of questions using STAR format to provide structured answers. So if you provide structured answers, definitely it would be helpful to you. Always answer such type of questions using the STAR format to provide structured answers. So if you provide structured answers, and definitely the interview will get impressed. So STAR has following questions to be answered in same order. So what we have discussed in this. So situation. What was the situation? So at what situation you was in that question? Task. What were the tasks involved in the above mentioned situation? So in which task you faced that? Action. what did you do to complete the goal? So what action you have taken to complete that task, to get out of that problem or to get out of that work? And finally, result. What was the result of the actions? So this is most important part which conveys if you are successful or not. So if you are not successful, all your answer would be not considered, because answers would be valid only when you are successful, because the right answers only can get good marks. So that's all about my presentation, and I hope I delivered the best regarding the FAQs in interview. And thank you so much for providing this opportunity to the Institute of Aeronautical Engineering. All of you, stay home and stay safe.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.